Sports, where we interview athletes to share their post-sport journeys and explore how they are reinventing what it means to compete. Today, we have former track athlete, Kyonn.
What's up?
So happy to have you here today. So take me back. Let's start from the beginning, how you got into sports, where track came about. I want to know everything.
Okay. As far as I can remember, my parents put me in kind of several different types of sports, from like soccer, baseball, even tried swimming once.
Okay.
Terrible idea. Only black kids there. Got smoked in swim trunks. Everybody's in the swim attire. Borrowed goggles. But yeah. So we kind of tried like everything.
Yeah.
Landed in junior high with just like track, wrestling, and football. That was kind of like my main three that I did. And it kind of carried me through like the whole year because they're all in different seasons.
Yeah.
But that kind of followed through with high school. Went to Bloomington. First, actually, I was Unit 5 for the first 6 years. Mm-hmm. And then I transferred to Bloomington, where I did football, wrestling, and then track. And then actually was gonna do wrestling in college. I don't think a lot of people knew that.
Really?
Yeah. And so I was a little decent, but
yeah.
I don't think I was too focused in it.
Okay.
Because I was in 3 different sports. I was just going season by season at that point.
Yeah.
Really wasn't thinking about what I wanted to do in the next level. And then I think deciding factor came in senior year, actually. During my wrestling season, I didn't do so hot. I was like, yeah, maybe I don't want to carry this on. And then the whole cutting weight thing, it was kind of bad. I missed 3 Thanksgivings my high school career, yeah. And that's bad. You ever been to a Black Thanksgiving and missing out just eating turkey? That's it, and some veggies?
You had enough.
Yeah, I had enough. So senior year, I decided not cut as much. But then after that season, I did track, and I don't know, it was just really fun. That senior year, we were coming off winning Big 12 2 years in a row. We were doing good. We had a squad.
Yeah.
And so I think I kind of there from just decided to do track. Do you want me to go through my colleges?
I do, but I want to talk about, because we did have a pretty good track team at Bloomington. Talk about victories, highs and lows with high school track.
I guess the highs is just traveling with your friends,
Yeah.
That the bus rides are unmatched alone, And so those are just the really fun times that I do miss, just being on a bus with all your people.
Yeah.
And then obviously since we did have a really good team, we was winning, so we was turning, it was a good time.
Because did you guys win indoor season that year too?
Yeah, I think we won indoor, outdoor. I think we did that I think we started my junior year actually, and so going into my senior year, we were trying to defend that.
Because we carried that on too.
Yeah.
So.
I thought it was your year that kind of messed it up. It was a hot minute. We won 5 years in a row, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are definitely the highs. Just winning with your team, you doing good individually,
yeah.
And then your team, you helping your team pretty much come up and win. It's an awesome feeling. Lows, I would definitely say being injured during those seasons. I kind of made a quick comeback during high school at least, and then. Obviously, the cold on track meets is it's gloomy. You don't perform as well. I would consider those one of the lows, honestly.
And what was your thing in track?
I did short sprints, so 100, 200. Sometimes I got forced to do the 4x4. Yeah. Well, I also did long jump and triple jump. I don't know. Do you know Coach Mosley?
Yeah.
Remember Coach Mosley? Yeah. So it's funny, for some reason, coming up into high school, my freshman year, he thought I was just the spectacular long jump, triple jump star.
Yeah.
Don't know where he got that. Never done it in my life. And so he puts me on a team pretty much varsity.
Okay.
My freshman year.
Yeah.
No practice, just first indoor meet. Crazy. And so I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, wow.
And so first jump, and so long jump, you do the little one leg, boom. I did 2 on the board, busting my ass. And he was just like, what was that? I was like, I've never done this before. Like, why am I in a varsity meet? It was just crazy. And then I think after that, he kind of took me out of long jump and we started focusing on triple jump.
Okay.
Which I was okay at, but that thing gave me really bad shin splints.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that kind of ruined that. I had to stop that because it was messing up all my other events.
Yeah.
And so, in high school, I was a big 100 guy. No, I was big more 200 guy than 100. But in college, it actually flipped to me being more shorter 100 than 200.
Okay. And when did you decide kind of individual sports were your thing? Because you still kind of get that team aspect within those, but I mean, that's a lot of pressure you still put on yourself in those sports, so.
I don't know. I feel like it was just, with wrestling and track, it was just kind of more individual.
Yeah.
And then football, you know, I felt like I was just there because I was just fast. I enjoyed football, but I don't think I, like, loved it at that time over wrestling and track.
Yeah.
And so I guess, I don't know, I was just kind of more used with that more individualism in those kind of sports, and so I just kind of decided to stick with that.
I like that. Okay, so talk me through, we're graduating high school, entering college. Where did we start? What made that decision? Did you have any help getting there?
So when I was applying to schools, it was kind of last minute because it was like a really short time when I had decided to just stick with track instead of wrestling.
Okay.
And so like I was kind of just going with schools that like that was kind of like closer by in the city in Chicago. And so like I went to UIC and I had a visit, but like it was just like ended up being like way too much money.
Yeah.
And like their sports program didn't really have a huge budget, and so I really couldn't go there, and so like it kind of messed up a lot of plans for me, and so like I ended up at St. Xavier. It was kind of like a backup school for me.
Yeah.
Kind of knew I was always going to leave there eventually, because I mean it was a fallback school.
Yeah.
But I ended up liking it a lot. So I went there for my first 2 years. I did really well, broke a lot of records as a freshman just because their sprints program wasn't that well developed because they were more of a distance school.
Gotcha.
And so it was kind of a messed up situation because being recruited by one coach and then him getting fired before I got there was kind of like a flip. And so, yeah, I had a brand new coach that like I had no like communication with getting there.
Wow.
And then like the person that kind of like brought me to that school is like not there anymore. So it was kind of weird. And he wasn't a sprint coach. He was a distance coach. And we did not have a sprint coach there.
Really?
Yeah. And so for that first year, he kind of like had a buddy make up like sprint workouts for us.
Yeah.
And kind of like the seniors who basically like ran practice. And so that was that first year. And then like we got a sprint coach the second year, like he was a head coach at a high school.
Okay.
And so like he wasn't like ever there at practices. And so still it was kind of like us trying to train ourselves.
Yeah.
And so, which I didn't do too bad in. I actually, that training was kind of beneficial because you kind of saw my progress from freshman year to like sophomore year.
Yeah.
I definitely got faster. And so it was just a crazy kind of program just to practice yourselves and run practice and kind of make sure you push yourself into working harder every day. I decided to transfer after 2 years to kind of pursue a better degree because I was biology that time, and biology classes are tough. And so I always wanted to be kind of like a physical therapist at that time. And so I decided to go to University of Indianapolis, but it was also a weird coaching thing. Yeah, the coaching thing. It's gonna carry on.
It's a reoccurring thing.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But and so like me reaching out, trying to like talk to the coaches, and like they just weren't applying back.
Okay.
And so at like this point, like I like took a tour of school. I just really loved the school, and just because of their academic program, pretty much, that I
Gotcha.
wanted to fall into. Great facilities. I don't know if you ever been to University of Indianapolis.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's super nice facilities.
Okay.
Yeah, for a D2, it's decent. But and so like I got applied to the school and actually was about to go there. Then that's when the coach was like, "Hey, we noticed."
Oh.
Like, hey, like, oh, you're running with us. Okay, dope. And so because I got accepted to the school, like without them like talking to me and stuff like that, I didn't get a sports scholarship, but like they promised they would get it the next semester.
Gotcha.
And so like I just wrote it like a huge academic scholarship.
Okay.
And so like the training there was a different shock from what I was used to from the first 2 years. Obviously, having no coach there and like just kind of doing our own thing and like having to keep up with ourselves on how to practice and shit like that. Like they took us out to the fields. We had to like run like 7. So our warm up was 7 minutes, and a short sprinter, that is terrible for me because our warm up is just like 2 laps. You know, you can milk that out.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so it took us out to a field. We got to warm up and jog around like a field, but like we in a line. And so obviously, like, we got to keep pace with everybody. Seniors are just taking off. You know, I'm huffing and puffing in the back, trying to keep up. Legs are hurting. That year, like, started to get, like, I think my shin splints started to kind of, like, flare up. And, like, my calves used to be so tight. And so, those 7-minute warm-ups kind of killed my legs, I ain't gonna lie. It was just like a different kind of training, having a coach there.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. And so since the track season in college is the spring semester, and I left before that spring semester, I didn't actually get to run with the team.
Okay.
And so the reason I didn't go back because they promised me that athletic scholarship. And they were like, yeah, you have way too much academic scholarship to provide you with that.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I think that kind of pissed my mom off. And she was just like, yeah, we're going to have to pull you from that.
You gotta go.
And so that was kind of heartbreaking because it was like that close to the track season.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was coming off a really super well season for me at St. Xavier. So I was kind of excited about that. And so I had to come back with a short amount of time to get into a school. Went to Heartland for a semester.
Yeah.
And so obviously no track team. And so
Heartland's like a junior college.
community college, yep. And so kind of had to take a year off basically. And then after that, my options were either Illinois State or Wesleyan. Illinois Wesleyan. Decided Illinois Wesleyan because I had 2 of my best friends there.
Yeah.
And so they kind of made the transfer process a lot easier. Going there, knowing people off the bat, meeting new people. And ran for the Titans for 2 years. Well, actually, my first year, Wesleyan was kind of tougher school than I imagined. And so, like, I actually came ineligible my first year there.
For academics? Okay.
Yeah. And so that kind of killed my season.
Yeah.
And so it was just me trying to like doing super well in the spring and then doing like a good May term and summer class to hurry up and like try to get that before conference. And I was like really close. And they were like, no, I missed like the cutoff. But so I missed my first year at Wesleyan. And then my second year is when I actually ran for Wesleyan. But
how'd that go?
It went okay. I became very injured. Preseason, found out I was running on a broken foot for months.
Lovely.
Yeah, lovely start of the season. And so I had to wear a boot for a month. And that was kind of like just in time for the spring season. And then I sprained my ankle right as the boot came off. Fun stuff, you know. And so that took me out. Well, they kept like trying to like run me through meet, so I think kind of slowed me down, slowed me for my healing. And so I
Yeah.
just kept reoccurring that. And then once my ankle got somewhat healed, tore my quad. Like it was like back to back to back. But like
Yeesh.
it wasn't enough for me from stop running meets. And like so every meet I at least tried like one race.
Yeah.
See how I felt. If I felt good enough, I tried the next race. And so
Yeah.
that was kind of like the whole season. But
My goodness.
yeah, made it to conference, got into a conference final somehow with a tore quad. And so
That's amazing.
yeah, and then, it was a good senior season with the people I graduated with, so I really enjoyed that one.
Were you ready for it to end? Did you feel like I wish I could have gone back and redid some things?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really?
Obviously, like I think I would grind so much more. I think in the off season.
From like the start, or is there a certain year you were like, okay, I know I slacked off?
Probably probably started in college.
Okay.
Because I was just so used to. I mean, the track season is damn near the whole year.
Yeah.
And so like I kind of during that off season, I'm like, okay, this is my time to kind of rest, which I feel like I should have done a little bit, but kind of kicked it up a little more toward like the back end. And so like I wish I definitely grinded a little more. But yeah, I think that's. What was the question?
Just like if you could have, would you change it? Do you feel like unsettled with how it ended?
Yeah, just because like I ended kind of hurt pretty much that last year where I felt like I had like a lot of potential to do very well for myself and for the team.
Yeah. Talk to me about transferring. An expert in it, as we know now. Is it scary? Did you find it difficult at times building relationships, having to do it so quickly, or
It just kind of depends.
Okay.
It was definitely kind of hard. It was a little scary, but also like super exciting to get to this newer place, to meet newer people.
That's a good perspective.
Yeah, and so like every school I've hung out with like different sports groups because of my transferring, which is really nice. Yeah, my freshman year and sophomore year, I like hung out with the soccer and football team. At University of Indianapolis, I hung out with lacrosse players and swimmers, and so that was a lot different for me, seeing from that side.
Yeah.
And then when I got to Wesleyan, I hung out with basketball players, and so it was kind of like a nice little switch up, and met like a lot of people,
I like that. All right, so we're out of college now. Walk me through adulthood. Are we knowing what we want to do after college? Was there times where it's just like, talk me through?
Not really, because like as soon as like I kind of graduated in like the fall of 19, that's when like COVID happened.
Yes.
And so like my plan before that was like, okay, I'm gonna take off a year, kind of rethink if I want to go get my master's, maybe do some traveling, because at the time I'm working at the airport. And,
Gotcha.
I couldn't really travel before with school and sports and having a job and all that, which is too much. But yeah, so that kind of happened and kind of just chill for the most part. But like once that cleared up, I decided to travel a lot more. Start doing like 1 a day, 2 a days at like places, which was really cool. I did that in Paris. I did that in like Amsterdam. Went for
Explain
1 or
that.
2 days.
For like just going and traveling places for like a day?
Very tiring. Bring your walking shoes. Bring a bottle of water. Have it somewhat planned.
Yeah.
Because you on a short amount of time, and just try to research to see what you want to do, what you want to see. And so like I made sure I did that. I did my research, kind of wanted to hit all the major attractions in the show. So that's what I kind of did like in the first like few times I traveled.
And how did you get into the working with the airlines and stuff like that?
My mom used to actually work there before, and so she was like, come on over, get a job. Because she knew the manager, so it was like an easy hire. And it was kind of chill being a student, because I'll go there and like do homework and wait for the plane to come. And so it kind of worked out. And so that's how like I kind of got that job. And then that wasn't making a whole lot of money,
Yeah.
to support you. And so decided to go to juvenile detention center in McLean County. And I'm a juvenile detention officer, so I kind of just watch and kind of just, it's really just hanging out with the kids, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like we watch movies, play ping pong, play cards. They go to school. I'm just there, sitting there while they do school. So it's a super easy and chill job.
It's probably rewarding too, I would assume. Like at the end of the day, I know it's probably tough, but just being able to know you're helping in some way. Walk me through that job. Is it draining?
Sometimes I guess it just kind of depends on the type of person you are.
Yeah.
It's definitely times it does drain me, but most of the time, like I am just hanging out with the kids, and
Yeah.
so we get kids that are like really cool and funny, and that you can like connect with and talk to, and try to like coach them in like doing better things and staying out of trouble. And
Yeah.
so like on that aspect, it's super rewarding. 'Cause, like you want them to do better for themselves, and some kids actually want to.
Yeah.
Which is great. But then you got kids that are like really hard to work with and just super annoying and, just want to be a gangbanger, And so those kids are kind of hard to work with, but it helps if they're really funny.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
It helps.
Humor does get you through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you graduate with your degree, and did you kind of steer away from that? Do you use it in your job at all?
So I graduated in psychology. And so
So you probably have to use that a lot.
kind of. I mean, it helps.
Yeah.
But I feel like with psychology, you can kind of go into a little bit of everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But it helps a little bit at my job. I mean, it's just talking and hanging out with kids, and so trying to pick their brains on like why they do what they do and how can they stop that, or what's their next plan.
Right.
Because I actually tell a lot of kids, I'm like, when y'all get out of here, I'm like, college is an option for y'all.
Yeah.
Just finish high school. Like, don't let that stop you, because half of them are already at the lodge and shit. And so, like, I'm like, stop going there.
Bless their spirits.
Yeah, but, it's the times, and so lodge is really fun for those kind of kids, and it's just partying. So
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if you want to party with college kids, go to college,
We have an alternative for you. That's awesome. So, just going to ask you a couple of questions about it. Was there ever a moment in your career where you ever got disconnected with the sport, maybe burnt out or kind of lost your love for it?
I don't think I ever lost my love for track. Just because, I mean, it's just running.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, as for a sprinter at least, I mean, sometimes you have tough practices, but I feel like it was kind of hard to overthink it. And so for me, I didn't really get burnt out on it. I mean, with the way things were going for missing 2 years in a row and being injured, I don't think,
Ready.
yeah, like I wanted it. And
Yeah.
so like I was never going to get burnt out from it. And so, I mean, yeah.
Do you still incorporate any running? I know that you still are active in your life, which is awesome. Do you still try to incorporate running, or?
Hell no, I'm retired. I'm retired. No, but like I had a few juveniles like try to like, oh, you're not fast. I'm like, buddy, I ran college track. Like, you don't want this. And so like I had to burn a few kids, I won't lie. But I definitely have to realize like, yeah, I can't do that for like super long.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I still got it a little
Just
bit.
in case.
Like, I got it a little bit, but no, I don't really run. Like, I don't even jog really, because
Hey,
the bones don't do what the bones do anymore.
let me tell you.
Yeah.
And so, what do you do now, working out wise? How many days a week, or is it tough to fit in your schedule?
Well, I work first shift, so like I get off at 3,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's really nice. And so like I just try to go to the gym right after work,
Mm-hmm.
and so that kind of helps me. I try to go 5 days a week, But, you know, sometimes you get those days where I go like 3.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, like, it just kind of depends. And so, like, I just try to do different workouts. But I'm kind of getting burnt out on weightlifting because, like, I was never a big weightlifter.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting burnt out on that. But I'm going to have to get some new workouts from a source, you know.
Hey, I might know someone. Is there any parts of being an athlete or sports in general that you miss still?
Definitely the competing part. I think that was just, I enjoy competing. And then I would definitely say, like, just the friends being there and just, like, those connections of doing the sport you love with the people you love, you know. Definitely miss that.
Do you still keep in contact with anybody from?
Kinda, sorta.
Yeah.
Not as much. I'm just a isolated guy sometimes. And so
You still have your core group. Though,
yeah,
like...
yeah. I mean, yeah, my best friends from like
Yeah.
high school, yeah, that's my crew. Like I talk to them, but even though me being me, I sometimes like I just don't communicate well, which I'm trying to do better at.
Is there any piece of advice you'd give to former athletes that are struggling with finding themselves or just lost with who they are?
I would say just try different hobbies, you know. You never know if you'll kind of like fall in love with that hobby. That might kind of take over like your passion like after sports.
Yeah.
And so definitely just try new things. You know, you never know what you're going to love.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming today. You've been a blast always. It's been a lot of fun.